Yo, what's going on guys? Chadley here, and today we're going to be ranking all of FL4K's class mods. Now, FL4K has a ton of really good class mods, especially compared to some of the other Vault Hunters out there. These class mods, you can almost use almost every single one of them for the most part for certain scenarios. There's obviously going to be some better than others, and some are not that great, and I bet you guys can guess which one that is already. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and jump right into ranking these things. And I just have them in the order that they are listed on the Borderlands Legendary spreadsheet. So we're going to start off here with the Bounty Hunter. So the Bounty Hunter has always been one of the go-tos for FL4K players ever since the launch of Borderlands 3. This is a very good class mod. It definitely does the job very well, especially with bossing. For mobbing, it's kinda overkill for mobbing. But when it comes to bossing, this is definitely a really good class mod. So what it does is you have a 3% chance of activating a purchased hunt kill skill when dealing gun damage, which is really good. So you can get like Cosmic Stalker and Most Dangerous Game without actually getting a kill. As long as you're just shooting something, there's a good chance you are going to get those to proc. And if you're using like Hunter Seekers, you can throw a few of those, and normally those will proc it for you anyways. So there's a lot of sources that you can use to get this class mod to start working, and also the skills on this class mod are really good. The Most Dangerous Game and Frenzy being probably the two best for it, and that's just a really good combo for dealing a ton of extra damage. But it is kind of overshadowed by two class mods for two scenarios, so I think I'm going to have to put our Bounty Hunter here in the A tier. It's not quite the best in slot in terms of certain scenarios, but it's definitely really good. So we're going to leave that here in the A tier for now. But let's go ahead and move on to what I think is my favorite class mod for FL4K, and that is the Cosmic Stalker. This thing has been long overlooked in terms of FL4K players. A lot of people didn't really use this, but it is for sure one of FL4K's best class mods. For mobbing mainly, but also a lot of bosses. Like during the takedown with Wotan and stuff, this is probably your best bet for Wotan as well. Occasionally one other one will kind of overshadow it sometimes, but we'll get to that one a little bit later. But what this is going to allow you to do is boost all of your hunt skill powers. So like Interplanetary Stalker and things like that are all going to get boosted. You can roll big game on this thing, which is going to increase the duration of your hunt skills, as well as the power of them as well, on top of the 25% that the class mod does itself. So like I was saying with the Wotan fight, when you get kills on robots, you're going to get more corrosive damage. So you're going to end up dealing a lot more damage to Wotan. So like for the takedown, this class mod is amazing, and personally is what I think is the best class mod in the game at the moment for FL4K. So we are definitely going to have to put this one in the S tier. It definitely overshadows the Bounty Hunter in mobbing, and in some cases some bosses, but there's also some bosses that the Bounty Hunter will do better than the Cosmic Stalker. But like I said, there is another class mod that usually does the best on bossing now. So that's why Bounty Hunter is being A and Cosmic Stalker in S. But let's go ahead and move on over to our Deadeye class mod. Now, I used to use this class mod a little bit, but I was never a huge fan. It definitely did pretty well because it works just like how like the 390 anointment works, where if they have like shields or armor above their health, you're going to get that 35% bonus on it until that bottom health bar goes below that 75%. So it is a pretty decent damage boost for the most part. But overall, I don't really use this that much. I always thought the Bounty Hunter was better for bossing. And for mobbing, obviously, like the Cosmic Stalker was usually going to be better. And the skills on this thing really aren't that great. Fang is pretty decent to have, and Fast and Furious is definitely another really good one. But it also has a completely obsolete skill here with the pet crit damage, I think is that one. So we're going to have to put our Deadeye class mod here in the B tier. Now, I'm not really trying to go in order and leave like one for each. This is truly just what I think. So it's definitely pretty decent, but there are definitely some better options out there. But otherwise, let's go ahead and move over to our friend bot. Now, this class mod doesn't really get used by a lot of people, but it definitely has some pretty good uses. Now, you don't really use it for the pet damage. Mainly, the only thing you're going to be using this class mod for is getting 5 points into Barbaric Yawp right here, and then for good passives. What this is going to do is increase your pet bonuses by a ton. So your pets can give you a ton of extra bonus damage, and if you're using like the Great Horn Skag, it's just going to boost overall damage. So if you want to run like any sort of melee build and stuff like that on Flak, this is definitely one of the go-tos. This and Deadeye are usually the two that I use if I'm doing like a melee Flak, as those are going to help out a lot of your melee stuff. So our friend bot here, I'm going to actually have to put it in the D tier. Now, I always used Deadeye for melee for the most part. And to make the friend bot really good, you have to get a 5 Barbaric Yawp, which is pretty hard to get. So that's why I'm going to put it definitely on the lower end of the spectrum here for Flak. Then let's go ahead and move over to Rack Pack. Now, this is the class mod that was introduced with the Malamon takedown back in November. So what this is going to do is when a rack hits an enemy, they split into 2 more rack and seek out enemies. So you can hit a lot of people with Rack Pack, and what this is going to allow you to do is with a gun with the Anointment, 100% bonus damage on the rack attack, people affected by rack attack. That is better than 100 ASE. You're going to be doing more damage with how it plays into the damage formula. So what this is going to allow you to do is use guns that kind of chain or hit multiple targets and actually get that bonus damage on all of your targets instead of just like one if you're just using normal racks. So this class mod is definitely pretty good, but I still don't use it all that often. I'll usually end up using like a Cosmic Stalker or something like that. So for our Rack Pack, I'm actually going to put it at like a C-ish. It's definitely better than a friend bot, but not quite like Deadeye and stuff like that. And it's very situational, so I'm going to leave it at like a C-, not quite a full C. But then, let's go ahead and move over to Rack Commander. Now, there's not much to say about this class mod. It's kind of some garbage. You'd really only use it if it was like the first class mod you got as Flak while you're leveling up. The skills on it are kind of some trash. The only really decent one is Eager to Impress, but there are some other ones that boost that as well. And you get an extra charge of Rack Attack. And when you guys are using Rack Attack and head count isn't broken, you're never going to have an issue with Rack Attack. So Rack Commander, unfortunately, is definitely going to have to go down into our F tier. I never recommend using this class mod. It's really not good at all. But otherwise, let's go ahead and switch things up and go over to the Red Fang, which is probably going to go at the other end of the spectrum as Rack Commander. So if you guys are playing Gamma Burst, you use this 99.9% of the time. Maybe like a couple bosses, you'll switch over to a Bounty Hunter. But otherwise, there's some bosses that the Red Fang even helps you out more than a Bounty Hunter. And somebody like Wendigo, the Red Fang is going to help you get behind them and just hit the crits all the time, while Bounty Hunter, Wendigo, is always going to be targeting you. So there's definitely some really good uses for the Red Fang, not only for being super tanky because nothing's really going to be shooting at you, it's really good for mobbing and bossing. So our Red Fang here is definitely going to be going up to the S tier. This should be basically the only class mod you guys are using if you're playing Gamma Flak. Now, we only have 2 more class mods left, and now we're going to be looking at the Stack Bot. This was introduced with DLC 1, and what this does is when Flak scores a critical hit, they gain increased weapon damage until they don't score a critical hit again, and this affects stacks. So what this is going to do, every time you get a crit, it's going to boost your gun damage by 5%, and it stacks up to 100 times. So you can get 500% weapon damage, and this will keep stacking. There's no like time limit on it. It's not like consecutive hits. And if you miss, it's not going to reset it. It's only if you deal some sort of damage that isn't a crit. Now, this was bugged for a while where damage over time would reset it. So it was pretty hard to use StackBot, and it was a pretty bad class mod. But now with the recent 2.0 update, we have the ability to use bonus elements with the StackBot. So, but the only thing right now is pet damage still resets the StackBot. So it is pretty tough to use it for mobbing, but for bossing, this is probably Flak's best class mod by far. Also, it boosts Pack Tactics, which is a great overall damage skill, and then Fast and Furious. So overall, the skills on this thing are amazing, and its ability is amazing. So for bossing and even mobbing stuff, like if you guys are using gorillas in the mist or high pellets on like a 3-shot fadeaway, this is definitely going to be the go-to. So I'm going to go ahead and throw our stack bot here in the S tier as well. So it's really cool to see that we already have 3 S tiers with Flak. It's really cool to see that his class mods are pretty good. But unfortunately, we have to move on to the trainer class mod. This was introduced with DLC 2. And whenever Flak's pet would kill an enemy, there's a 25% chance it confuses that enemy instead for 20 seconds. And once that enemy is dominated, they're set to 25% health. And once the duration ends, the enemy is killed. This class mod is absolute garbage with how pets are and dominance is in this game right now. Maybe down the line they'll change it and do something cool with it. But right now, this is by far the worst class mod probably in the game. I don't know how you can get any worse than this, but at least for Flak, it's definitely the worst. It doesn't even deserve to be in this tier list. It's going below F. It's just gonna go down here. I'm just gonna hide it over there. And yeah, so overall, this is going to be our Flak class mods tier list. So just to reiterate, in our S tier, we're gonna have Cosmic Stalker, Red Fang, and Stackbot. And then our A tier is going to be the Bounty Hunter. This is just an overall good bossing class mod, but it's definitely outshined by 2 of the others in some scenarios. Then our B tier is going to be the Deadeye class mod. It definitely has its uses, but a lot of these are definitely way better. And then the Rack Pack has its uses in certain scenarios, but it's not that great, so we gave it a C-. And then our D tier, we're going to be using the Friend Bot, just because for it to be pretty decent, you have to get a very good roll on it with 5 pack tactics. So just keep that in mind with that one. And then our F tier is going to be Rat Commander. It's completely pointless. And then we're not even going to mention our trainer down here, like I said. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys have any opinions on what class mods you like to do, make sure to leave them as a comment down below. Tell me why. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.